Blast Processing is one of the most iconic main GD levels, known for its incredible music and deco that fits the level all so well, also known for being the most modified level in the game. This level is so good in fact that today I decided to make my own part in it, trying to make it so it blends in perfectly with the rest of the level. So let's start with the gameplay. So before I start laying down any type of gameplay, I first empty this part that is at the end of the level, just before the last cube, and yeah, I'll be building the entire part inside this empty space. So the first part being a ship, I wanted it to have a lot of vertical movement and have a lot of recognizable structures since robtop does that a lot. So after doing some filler gameplay and added ground spikes, this is how the part is looking like right now. But I actually have to confess something to you guys. I actually lied at the start of the video. I'm not going to make it perfectly blend within the level because I actually want to add a spider part to this level. Yes, a spider part. I know the spider game mode never existed when Blast Processing came out, but I want to have a little bit of fun. Actually, I want to do something different with this part just so it is a little bit more interesting. So I started to make the spider gameplay. I kind of made like some filler gameplay, but I did try to make the structures interesting while still being kinda like robtop boxy style because it doesn't really do much with the structures. Then I built a ball part that snaps into the ground of the level just so it transitions well with the actual last part of the level. And after finishing the structuring, this is how the part is looking like. I know there are some structures that do look kinda weird, especially at the start of the ship, but I'm hoping that the decoration is going to save those and make them look more like robtop structures. And I think the transition to the last skill part works really well. So after taking a look at the other parts of the level and getting inspiration from it, I started to decorate the structures. But I tried to do something interesting with the blocks I could use. I didn't just fill the structures with the preset tiles. I actually tried to do something unique that gives this part an identity. But now after doing this structure, my next step is to do the air deco. Probably my favorite part to do in a old robtop style level. Firstly, I added those ground spike decoration that robtop really likes using at the side of the structures. But I kinda get it, it kinda breaks the flat nature of these walls. And of course, you cannot forget about the floating arrows with the spinning object. It really is a creator life hack in this style. Also, I added this random glow at the ground to symbolize that you can hit your head there. So, I may have lost the footage of me doing the ground deco and all of the 3D. So I had to take a little break for undisclosed reasons, but now I'm back. Basically what I did is that I added those backing blocks, some ground deco, and after copying and pasting a little bit more of those backing blocks, I started to put more attention on the ground spike. So first I randomly added those pyramid block things, and then I added a few saws in the ground spike since it really does break the flat line of it. Then I finally made the saw deco already using the layout saws because I think they look cool. Then after fixing a missing bit from the 3D, I finished the first half of the part, and I think it fits really well with the rest of the level. But now we need to focus on the spider / ball part, where I'm going to be switching things up a bit. So the first real thing that is going to stay is the saw deco because I really like how it looks. I think it will fit well with this part too. So for the block design, I had the idea to add those X-step blocks at the outlines of the structures and fill them in with those 9 circle blocks because I really like them and I think they're very unutilized. So after doing the main deco for the spider part, I actually want to make another type of decoration for the ball part. I used the blocks in hexagon force and fill them in with those connector bits and added another layer of outline to add a little bit more depth. And I also changed a few structures just to make them look more interesting. And after that, it was just to fill them in with the 3D, and I really hate doing this because it's so mind-numbing. I just don't like it. But for this 3D, I wanted the top face of these structures to actually use the colored 3D filler, and maybe that didn't exist in this update, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And just so the bottom faces of these structures don't look empty, I added a bottom glow to them. And now the part is looking like this. My main objective now is to make these structures look a little bit more interesting, since now they do look pretty boxy. So firstly, I added those ground spike decoration to the side of the structures, since, how I said before, they make the structures look a little bit more interesting. While we are on the topic of ground spike deco, I decided to finally make them. As you can see, I added those wavy objects, and then I also added a few saws to make it look more interesting, and added the saws deco that aren't actually linked to the saws, because I think if they were, it would look a little bit more boring. Then, to have a little fun, to fill this empty space, I actually did those cube statues that robtop did a lot in this level that is really iconic. And so the first one is this kind of like angry cube, and I actually like doing that so much that I decided to copy and paste it and do another version for the default cube. It's really fun to make this, and it adds a lot of personality to the level. I don't know why robtop just spammed this in blast processing. And since I thought the neon 3DL looked a little bit too bright on these air deco, I also just boost them to make them look more interesting and not too bright for those decorations. So to finally finish this video off, I decided to make all of the orb and portal deco. And I actually decided to add a little bit more love to these 3 last orbs, since they look more impactful than the other orbs in the level, and also they needed to fill more space in the screen. And so to finally finish this part off, I added those packing blocks pillars to fill in this space, and I also added a few more air deco here and there to finish this part off. So what you think? Comment down below your thoughts if I really did nail the blast processing design, or if I just fumbled massively and wasted 7 minutes of your time. Well, I hope not. Bye.